Hello, welcome to your Cheshvan yoga practice. I'm Jenna here in my home in Jerusalem. We are going to start right away in pigeon, which is not my usual starting position, but we'll bring right knee to outer right wrist and extend the left leg behind you. You can gaze over the left shoulder, make sure the heel is in line with the sit bone. So because this may be your first hip opening today, you can stay on your palms. You can bring a bolster if you have in front of the body or pillows and just saddle into the hip and that left thigh spreading wide and melting down. And begin by just breathing deeply down into the hips, down into the pelvis and pelvic floor. And if you feel like you can go deeper, then let's bring the forearms in front of you. You can also stack the arms as a little shelf and guide the forehead down. Or if it's in you to go even deeper, forehead to the mat, palms together, and bring the prayer hands over the crown. So take these first few deep breaths of your practice to fully arrive on your mat, arriving in this body, in this breath. Cheshvan is the month of the introvert. After the Chagim, this month follows Tishrei, which is filled with holidays and social events and high energies to connect to. Cheshvan is that stillness after the busyness. It's the after party blues. Some people may experience a feeling of dissent, a feeling of loneliness after a big party. And other people may feel relieved to be back in their inner world, to be back by themselves, away from all the noise. So wherever you land, after party blues or feeling relieved to be more on your own this month, let's just arrive in your experience, holding compassion and holding awareness for whatever is arising today, however you're showing up to this moment. And we'll lift up onto the palms. Spread the shoulders wide and back, so we're just gently opening the chest. And then we'll wrap the left foot around, so the sole of the right foot is in the inner leg. We'll bring the hand to the inner side of the foot, and then sweep the right arm up and over, reaching over the back toes there. So sinking the right sit bone down and then lifting the waist high, lengthening through the side body and finding your breath. Some people refer to this month as Mar Cheshvan, which means bitter Cheshvan, especially feeling that descent uh, after a month filled with high energies and gifts from above and opportunities and gatherings and parties and feasts. This month could feel like bitter, empty, maybe like we're slumping into loneliness or we're going into a state of emptiness, nothingness. Let's sweep the hand up and over. Let's take a twist to the right. So left hand over the top of the knee, lift through the crown and twist over to the right. So we could look at it as a bitter month, but I like to reframe it as a perfect time to restore After a busy month, after a party, it's a time to replenish and reset. So sink the sit bones, twist to the right, breathe into this body. Maybe you haven't taken a glimpse of your inner worlds for quite some time because we've been so focused on the external energies of Tishrei. Now we're just given this big open month to dip in. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Every breath, allowing yourself to replenish and restore and retreat inwards. Nice. Now let's swing over. So the navel is over the top of the thigh. Inhale, sweep the hands up, lift through the fingertips, and then fold forward or take a hold of the sole of the foot. Lift the heart forward to the top of the foot and exhale, sinking down. So whether you're practicing this in community or by yourself, let the 4 corners of your mat be a retreat, away from the noise, away from your relationships, and just allowing yourself to be in your inner world and noticing what impact the last month has had on your energy system, has had on your nervous system. After the party, what are you left with? What's going on inside? 3 more breaths. And sweep the hand up, come back to the top of the mat, and we'll simply switch. So coming through all fours, we'll bring the left knee to the outer left wrist, send the right leg back, gaze over the right shoulder, align the heel with the right sit bone, and then find your sweet spot wherever you're arriving today, whether it's your palms, your forearms, or your forehead down. Let every breath nourish, restore, replenish you after such a busy, packed month. Enjoying the open space, the open time. And see if your breaths can widen on the inhale at the low belly. So like a sphere, an orb of widening breath from the low belly. And if the exhale can spread that breath through the legs, through the feet, and sink it down. So the inhale is a widening feeling, the exhale is sinking, releasing, and deepening. Let's take 3 more breaths like this. And we'll lift up on the palms, spread through the collarbones, press forward with the sternum, sink the right thigh down, and then exhale, wrap the right foot around so the inner sole of the foot is in the inner leg. Right palm sweeps to the inside of the foot, and you can line the elbow up with the knee if that's possible for you. And then lift the fingers up and over, sinking through that left sit bone. And then turning the side waist and lifting up and over, reaching over those right toes, widening on the inhale, sinking, deepening, and releasing on the exhale. And lift up and twist to the left. So right hand comes over the knee. Lift through the crown. Exhale over the left shoulder. Feel your pelvis settling down, the left knee dropping down, but the spine is lifting, almost spiraling up through the crown. And looking over the shoulder reminds us to look back at the month before us, the month of Tishrei, and reflect on all of the moments that were meaningful, all of those conversations that left an impact on us. There's the actual meeting, the relationship, the conversation, and then there's the imprint that encounter has had. Let's fold forward over that right foot. So Cheshvan's a time to notice the imprint. Notice how the holiday affected us, how all of the relationships, all of the encounters really left a mark on our inner worlds. Let's fold forward. The inhale lifts the heart towards the toes. The exhale sinks us down over the leg. So I'd like to think about one special encounter or one special moment you had over the holidays, whether it was the blowing of the shofar or meeting with a friend, and bring that up to the mind's eye and feel the imprint of that experience as it takes root in your system, letting it really deeply impact you, letting it last. So just because the party's over doesn't mean that the experience has to dissolve, but we can really let it take root and transform us. And we'll lift on up. Let's send the feet back and step into down dog. So we'll take that theme of rooting to rise, meaning any experience that we want to impact us, we want to stay with us, we have to intentionally let it root. Like a seed being planted, we want it to go deeper into our system, into our memory, and into our bodies so that it actually has an effect on the whole year because Tishrei is the fountainhead of the year. So Cheshvan is the time to let it really root. So press the heels in to the earth, press the palms down, feeling something rooting deeper inside. And we'll start our flow. Inhale, right leg lifts nice and high. Exhale, gaze forward, step the right foot all the way through to the top of the mat. We'll take a twist to the right, rolling the right wrist, sinking back with the heel, and circling the arm back and forward. Nice. Sink the hips low, and then set the left heel down, rooting through the feet. What are we planting in this earth below us? And once we feel rooted, then we'll rise through the fingertips, lengthening the side body, reaching through the palms. Exhale, gather the awareness at the heart space. This is the interpersonal realm. All of those encounters we had of Tishrei, all of the moments really affects our heart channel. And it's a time to hold whatever's there, whatever we gained, whatever we lost, whatever we gave, and feeling what's inside today, feeling the imprint from all the experiences. Inhale, sweep the hands high, look up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Let's step the left foot forward, folds, crown to the earth. Lift the hips, spread the sit bones, and drop the shoulders, softening the neck, shaking your head left and right, yes and no. And then wrapping the hands around the backs of the legs, pulling yourself in. So whereas last month was interpersonal with others in relationship, and Tishrei was the chush of intimacy, Cheshvan is the time to just be with yourself. Come into yourself, retreat. Hug yourself in, and then release the hands, roll all the way up, vertebrae by vertebrae, rooting to rise from the soles of the feet. Sweep the hands above you and exhale, arrive at the heart. Notice what seeds are being planted here. And inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Heart floats above the ground, shoulders reach back. And exhale, hands to the mat. We'll step back into a plank. Sink the heels back. And then bend the elbows. Scoop the heart forward. Inhale through the nose. Shoulders press back. Lift the chin. Open the throat. Exhale, tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Planting heavy through the palms and feet. So whereas Tishrei was the chush of intimacy, which is interpersonal, Cheshvan is the chush of smell, which is our most pneumius, most innermost sense. It's very personal, very inwards. In Kabbalah, it's known as the most inward sense, the closest, the deepest to ourselves. So breathing in through the nose like you're smelling the most wonderful fragrance, the most wonderful aromatherapy, pulling in any sweet fragrances in that may be around your area. And then we'll come onto the other side, lifting through the left heel. Inhale. And exhale, look forward, step the foot all the way through. Right palm plants, let's twist to the left. Reach through the fingertips, roll out the wrists. And then send the fingers behind you. And then to the mat, let's press the right heel down. Plant through the soles of your feet like you're pressing into the fertile soil, a seed, letting an energy or intention from Tishrei really go deep. And then once we feel rooted through the feet, lift up through the legs, through the hips, side body, arms and fingertips, sweeping all the way up. And then exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, sweep up the hands, look up. Exhale, let's fold forward. Step the right foot to the top of the mat and fold. Hug your legs, pull yourself in. Let this month be a retreat inwards. Release the hands and roll up. Really slowly. Cheshvan's that slow month. Opening the palms, Feeling the energy rise. And exhale, hands fall at the heart. Inhale, sweep it up, look up. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, flat back, hands to shins. Exhale, palms to the mat, step it back, plank. You can always skip this part and meet us right in down dog. Otherwise, lower halfway and lift through the chest, through the crown. We're on the tops of the feet, opening the front of the torso. This is the treasure chest of the body, filled with all of our internal organs. This is the month of going inward, so the torso holds all those most important inward organs. So breathe so much appreciation and gratitude towards all of them that's housed in this treasure box of the torso. And then tuck the toes, step it back, down dog. We'll go breath to movement now. So inhale, right leg high. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, twist to the right. Exhale, hand to the top of the mat. Left heel down, plant through the soles of the feet. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hand to the heart. Inhale, sweep the hands up. And exhale, step to the front of the mat and fold. Pull yourself in. Sink through the heels. Release, folding forward. Inhale, plant the soles of the feet and rise, rooting deeper and deeper. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, light spring of the knees as we reach up. And exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, step it back. We'll meet in down dog, however you want to get there. Inhale, left leg nice and high. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, twist to the left. Exhale, release the palm down. Send the right heel down, plant through the soles, an experience, an energy, anything you gained from the last month. And then inhale, rooting to rise. Exhale, falling at the heart. Inhale, widening breath. And exhale, releasing, deepening, and folding in. Hug yourself in. Inhale, let's roll it all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Light bend in the knees. Inhale, palms together. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, lift to a flat back. Soften the eyes. Exhale, palms down. Let's step it back into plank. Chaturanga. If you're still with me, lifting through the heart. Breathing in through the nose like you're pulling in the sweet fragrance of Gan Eden, of pleasure, of joy. Exhale, step it back, sink the heels. One more time on each side. You can go at your own pace or stay with me. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, twist. Exhale, release. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, widening breath. Exhale, stepping, folding forward to deepen. Inhale, roll it up. Exhale, appreciating whatever's in the heart today, whatever imprint is left. Inhale, sweeping the arms high, and exhale, diving forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, step it back, plank. Lower the elbows, hover, lift the heart and chest, pull the shoulders back. Exhale, tuck the toes, sink the heels, lift the hips up and back. Last side, breath to movement. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, twist to the left. Exhale, hands down. Right heel lowers. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, falling at the heart, arriving to yourself. Inhale, flying the arms up. And exhale, stepping forward, hugging in to your retreat, committing to yourself this month, committing to being alone, to being okay with being alone, to enjoying your time alone, giving yourself self-pleasure, joy, and just being embraced by yourself. Lightly bend the knees, roll all the way up. Palms magnetically pull together and drawing in the self-love, the self-commitment into the heart. Inhale, fly the hands up, and exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step it back, plank. Chaturanga. Let's pull the crown up nice and high. Crowning yourself this month, honoring yourself, and stepping back, downward facing dog. Let's bring the knees down and come into child's pose. Forehead to the mat, walking fingertips forward, letting everything that you just experienced, all the flow, all the movement, settle into your body, just like we settle the Tishrei movement into us during Cheshvan. We feel the flow. Every posture that we engaged with, we let that settle and impact the body. The stillness after the movement, that is what we're working with in Cheshvan. Take a few more beautiful, radiant, self-loving breaths. And we'll lift up into all fours and cross the heels and come into a seated pose, soles of the feet together. We'll walk the fingertips forward and fold into our butterfly. And each breath you can notice you'll go deeper and deeper. You may be able to bring your fingertips more forward. You may be able to eventually dip the forehead or the third eye onto the tops of the toes. If not, you can always bring a block here, and it feels very nice to root all the energy from Tishrei, which is the head of the year, and let it sink down into the block or into the feet, wherever your forehead lands. And it's in Cheshvan that Noah entered the ark, the Teva. And the ark represents this inner ark of restoration. Our ark is our safe place, away from the flood, away from the turbulence and the chaos of the world. We all have our inner ark where we can return to refuel and to restore our spirits, our energy. So just like Noah, let's enter our ark. Sinking through the hips, letting the knees just open, letting the spine unravel any tension, any stuckness in the shoulders. Let's release. Let's let the neck soften. And just really imagine yourself walking into your ark. And the word for ark is teva, which also means word. So some sages say that entering the teva, entering the ark, means entering our words of prayer, our words of comfort, our words of hope, maybe poetry, song, any words that bring you to this state of just being rocked like we're on an ark, cradled, swaying back and forth. So the turbulence doesn't knock us over, but rather it's just a nice sway. You can even try that now, swaying right and left. Just like Hashem is rocking us, holding us, cradling us. And we'll lift on up. Let's try that rocking motion with the legs. So bring the right knee um, into the inner crease of the arm. Hold on to the sole of the foot and just rock yourself like you're rocking your boat. You can also bring it into the other elbow like you're rocking a baby. This is how Hashem, the creator, the source of life, just holds us through life, rocking us. So even when it could feel like a flood or turbulence, we just have to lay back and let ourselves be cradled back and forth. So also is a very gentle opening of the hip and the hip flexor. Let's hold on to the sole of the foot and press into that hand. Open the sole of the foot and then perhaps open the left palm. Drop the shoulders. Audible exhale. We did it. We went through all of that intense journey of Tishrei from Elul, starting the whole tshuva process, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and Sukkot and Simchas Torah and Hoshana Rabbah. Everything whether we were there consciously or not, we went through it spiritually. And let the foot go down, big side body stretch. Just like at the beginning of class. Maybe we go a little bit deeper this time. And let's lift up back into our arc pose, just folding for a moment, maybe bringing the third eye back into the feet or onto your block. And then lifting up onto the other side. We'll cradle the left knee into the crease of the arm. Hold on to the foot, or if you have more flexibility in the hip, you can bring it into the crease of the elbow and just close the eyes and rocking yourself back to equilibrium, back to your center. Then hold on to the sole of the foot, press into the palm, open the right palm, Big inhale, reaching through the crown, and exhale. Ha! Drop the shoulders, release. We did it. All the work, all the toil, it's all worth it. It's holy work. Set the heel down and sweep the hand over the crown. Side body stretch, reaching nice and long. Nice. And we'll bring both heels nice and wide. And you can explore here. If you want to go forward, keep the soles of the feet flexed. Walk the hands forward. You can come onto the elbows, or you can come side to side. You can come onto a bolster forward. But I want this to be your own retreat space. So however you want to carve out this time, you can also make some circles here. Just explore your space. Sometimes being on the ark is scary because we're going into unknown waters, murky waters. Sometimes being alone is scary. Going into retreat can be scary. But the more we remember that Hashem is holding the ark and is in it with us, we can explore our inner being with confidence that there's so much beauty there, there's so much good to find. Let's come onto the back. And we'll come into a bridge pose. So if you have your block here and you'd like a restorative bridge, you can just set the block right under the low back. Otherwise, you can tuck the shoulders, press the pinky fingers into the mat. Make sure that feet are hip width distance. Lift the hips and then send the shoulders away from the ears. Watch the breath rise and fall like waves or turbulence. Just knowing that every wave of the ocean, every breath in our body is impermanent. It comes and goes. It's fleeting, the good feelings and the bad feelings. So not attaching, not gripping, but just watching from the ark how you just float along, up and down over the waves. So riding the wave of your breath. Nice. Let's really feel every vertebrae of the spine descending onto the mat. And we'll extend the left heel forward, bring the right knee in. You can stay right here if this feels really good for you. If you want to come into a twist, you can guide the knee over the body, extend the palm to the right, and with soft eyes, gaze over the right palm, like we're receiving all the energy from Tishrei, everything we experience, we're really letting it sink into us. All the lessons, all the insights, and all the meaningful moments, let it take root. Nice. Come back to center. Let's switch the legs. Left knee into the chest. Extend long through the right foot. Hug the knee in. And if you'd like to go into a twist, come Gazing over the left palm. Left shoulder is resting on the earth. Feeling the stable, sturdy ground beneath you. And yet there's also that movement of rocking, of water, of being on the ark. Cheshvan's also the month of water. So allowing a little bit of sway and movement through the body. And roll the knee back to center, back to your chest. And extend the legs. If there's any posture that we didn't hit that you'd like your body to experience right now, go ahead if you want any last pose. Happy baby, or legs up the wall. Whatever you feel like. Otherwise, let the palms open to the sky. Extend the body. Allow yourself to be held by the ark, by the arms of your creator, just rocking you right and left, swaying. So not letting the turbulence of life knock us down, but rather let it be a way to enter our ark deeper, to take more interest in our inner world, higher attentiveness to what is inside. And let this last pose be a retreat, a restoration from all the parties, from all the holidays. Now it's just you and your breath and this moment to receive. And we'll sweep the arms overhead when you're ready. If you need more time, pause the video and just stay here for as long as you need. Let's roll onto the side, cradling the head in the arms, and then lifting up to a seated position. Bringing the hands on the heart. And I'd like us to revisit an intention we had during Tishrei. So whether it was your Rosh Hashanah intentions, or Sukkot, or Elul, or any time, revisit an intention or a prayer that you had. Your New Year's resolution, whatever it was that you wanted to bring into this year. Let's bring it back into the heart. Let's breathe a breath of awareness, of light around that intention, letting it expand and letting it take root in our system now. Now that there's nothing to distract us, no high energies to sweep us off our feet, now we have the chance to let that seedling grow, nourish it, water it, and think of one ritual or one element, one way that you can really let this intention grow. Commit to it, commit to this ritual, to this way to actually grow your intention into fruition so that Tishrei has a deep impact on the year. So thank you for practicing this Cheshvan yoga with me. This is only the start. I'd love for you to revisit this idea of retreat and restore and replenishing your system through the month of Cheshvan. Thank you for practicing. Chodesh Tov.